whether or not any of the suits could actually, or any of the trials, even if they start in the spring, would be finished before the election. Whether there would actually be a sentence before the election is highly questionable.
Here's a simple one to get us started with. What do Americans want right now from a president?
They want leadership. They want answers. And the problem is, in every election, it's a human kind of psychological trait to blame the person who's currently in office for anything going wrong, or to give credit for things that are going right, no matter what the actual factors might be that could explain either one. They could be long-term factors, they could be external factors. And so they're looking for somebody to make their lives easier, to control inflation, to address the crime problem, and to support democracy.
Donald Trump is now leading the national polling. So if the US were to go to an election tomorrow, he would be the favourite, Donald Trump, which seems remarkable considering where we were in 2020 and where we are now. There's been a complete about turn.
I think it's still quite early to predict the actual outcome, but yes, it is astounding.
I mean, it's still phenomenal, isn't it?
It is astounding. And that a person who has been indicted in multiple lawsuits and criminal activity is a front runner. It is unseen in the United States and completely astounding.
Why do many Americans want Donald Trump back? What are they not getting from Joe Biden that they feel the answer lies with Donald Trump?
Well, again, the people who are supporting Donald Trump, first, they believe his words, which usually do not have facts behind them, actually. But they believe his promises, his words, and his blame. And he blames problems, any problems that people are facing now, on Joe Biden and on the Democrats. And they see him as a leader, as a strong man, leader who will get things done, because he says he will do things by skirting, democratic principles and skirting the legal principles in order to get things done. And with Biden, his opponents and Trump have somewhat surprisingly been able to make quite an issue of his age, even though Trump is only 4 years younger. And so they're quite close in age. Yet the Republicans have been able to make age an issue for Biden that he's got to address. And of course, the current president has to answer for all of the troubles that are happening in the world. I would say also, I think that Democrats have had a hard time, and Biden has had a hard time getting out the message of what they actually have accomplished, which is quite amazing, even with major legislation, given the polarization and the divides in the U.S. Congress.
I think one of the concerns is that, the working class electorate is being increasingly, turned off the Democrat brand. They are no longer as supportive. They don't have the nailed-on votes, the Democrats, that they might have been able to rely on. African-American votes, Hispanic votes. They aren't as dead cert as they were. It's also remarkable, Jennifer, that we are solely talking about Donald Trump and Joe Biden again when we talk about this forthcoming election. Are there any other frontrunners? Are there any other, threats to take their place? And we'd also have to consider whether there may be an opportunity that Donald Trump won't run due to the various legal proceedings that he's got swirling around him at the moment. But who else would be stepping in?
I think it's unlikely that we'll see replacements for either one. On the Trump side, the court's processes have been delayed quite a bit. It's not even clear that the one that was supposed to start in March will begin in March. It could be delayed. But at any rate, it will begin only as the Republicans are wrapping up their primary, which right now it looks like that Trump will easily win to be the nominee. whether or not any of the suits could actually, or any of the trials, even if they start in the spring, would be finished before the election. Whether there would actually be a sentence before the election is highly questionable. And so people may be going to the election saying, well, Trump is innocent until proven guilty, without having a clear verdict. Still, Nikki Haley is the one that is gaining, certainly gaining on Ron DeSantis to be the second place winner, should something, cause Trump to drop out. And on the Biden side, there's no clear replacement, but there are some third-party candidates that could hurt him on the vote. Robert Kennedy, Cornel West, these could hurt Biden. Robert Kennedy could also hurt Trump.
Look, thank you so much for speaking to us. It is remarkable, I think, that we're still, we are back in 2020, aren't we? For very different reasons. Well, not for different reasons, but with, so much has happened since the last US election. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, still the big names swirling around this one. We'll see where that goes throughout the year. Thank you, Jennifer Lynn McCoy, Professor of Political Science at Georgia State University.